De Bello Gallico 533 through 34. As you can see, the defecation has struck the ventilation, and these young cohorts are in the midst of a battle. So we have a contrast. Titurius, who pluperfect subjunctive in a qui clause indicates almost causal, because he had provided nothing or foreseen nothing beforehand. Now we have these what are called historic infinitives being used like as a present tense to indicate the rapidity, the action, notice the polysynonym, to flutter about and to run around and to dispose of the cohorts, put them in proper position. However, these things themselves, fearfully done, and that it seems that everything was seeming, this kind of a result clause, that everything was seeming to have left him. He'd done lost his mind, which oftentimes Caesar now uses a perfect to indicate like a little traditional gnomic idea, which was accustomed to happen to those qui who cogunter are forced capere to take a concilium plan in the middle of business. All right, when you're doing it on the fly, you're going to make mistakes. But in contrast, kata, who, another pluperfect subjunctive indicating causal, had thought that these things were able, indirect statement clause, to happen on the road, and because he was not the auctor, the originator of the setting out on account of this reason, right? He wasn't his idea. He was not lacking in nothing in the common safety. And watch this. And now we have a conjunction here, both and. And he was price stabat. He was excelling in the duties of a soldier, militus, in fighting, and of a commander in appellandis, in calling out, and cohartandis, encouraging the soldier boys. So he was super guy. Because when, on account of the length of the line of march, right, 9,000 guys going to march a while, they ordered uh, they ordered wait a second, let's get to this part. Length of the battle line, not easily all things could be done through themselves, and that they would be able to provide that everything would get done in a certain location. All right. Because of this, length of the battle line, couldn't organize, didn't have command and control. They ordered it to them to announce that the soldier boys relinquish, leave their baggage, and they consisterant, stand in a circle. This is a hollow square. So circle up the wagons. Which plan, although non reprehendum est, it's not to be reprehended, not to be blamed in a disaster of this sort. Caesar's saying, hey, don't blame him. However, guess what? The plan of circling, however, it doesn't do well. It happens out not well. Incommode. For we have an et and an et. For both, it diminished. This is why it's past tense, because it's like, he's giving theory. The hope of our soldier boys, for our soldier boys, native possession, native reference. And at the same time, it made it that the enemies would be alacriores, more swift for battle, because it was seeming to be done, it factum videbat, not without the greatest fear and desperation. So when the enemy see your forces circling up, They know there's a problem. Moreover, let's go back. Let's go back. Moreover, and let's get some ink there. Moreover, it happens, which now there's Caesar again, which is that good old it's necessary to happen, which is like you could almost say, which was inevitable to happen, that commonly the soldiers were departing, result clause, from the standards. And they were hastening to seek and to rip away from the ab impedimentis, from the baggage. Because remember, the baggage were left outside the circle. Which things each person held most dear of them. So, in other words, this fighting, they see their baggage out there and they say, oh, I got to run and get my baggage. I got to run and get my knickknacks and paddywhacks and my special mementos. Trouble is, they're getting attacked all the time, and the circle's very much broken. Everything was being filled with clamor and crying. But here's the contrast. Had a contrast to Tiberius. Now here's a contrast to Cotta. Here's a contrast to the barbarians. A plan wasn't lacking for the barbarians. Dative, um, object of the compound verb. For the leaders of them announced, ordered to announce, just like this Romans, they related on the line, in the whole battle line, that Nequist, that nobody, after C's and A's, the allies go away, that nobody depart from the place, and that the booty of the Romans was theirs and was reserved to those, Elise, quae cumque, whatever the Romans had left. So, in other words, tell the Eburones are telling their buddies, leaders are telling them, don't move away. You stick till the end, you'll get all their stuff. And everybody says, "Oh, that's a good deal. We get their stuff." From then, they think they exist right? They plan that everything, omnia, neuter plural, was placed in victory. And they were parais, equal, both et in strength and in the zeal of fighting. Our boys, although deserabantur, they were being deserted by their leader, Titurius, and by fortune, a goddess. However, they were placing Ponabat, omnem spend all hope of safety in their strength. We got to fight through, buddies. That's what virtue is, strength. And whenever, quotients, a quite cohort, a certain cohort, had gone forward, a magnus numerus, a big number of hostium, of enemies, was falling down, was dying from that part. So when the Romans get together in a cohort, they're unbeatable. Ablative absolute clause, with which thing having been admended versa, having been noticed, Ambiorix orders that it be announced that they Konyikion throw their tela spears far away. Don't get hand to hand. Nor should they akedon approach propius adverb closer, and that they yield. Notice the present subjunctive, indirect command, that they yield into whatever part in quam partem the Romans would make an attack. So when the Romans attack, go away. And they were able, indirect statement clause, were able by the levitate, by the lightness of their arms, and by their everyday exercise of running away, that nothing was able to that they were able to be harmed for these guys. These guys, nothing would harm them. Because why? Well, because they were running away. And then they should follow in sequanter, the present subjunctive, those guys, the Romans, collecting themselves back at their standards. So the Romans would come out in a group, and they say, yeah, and then the Eburones would go, oh, run away. And then as soon as the Romans realized they're too far away from the normal, from the rest of the army, they go back. And then as they were going back, then they would be attacked. Oh, those darned Eburones. Those Romans are in trouble. What shall they do? Well, what'll you do is you need to get your REI, your preview done and enjoy yourself. Until that time, aloha.